Welcome to DDReg Knowledge Capsule. Have you ever really thought about how different healthcare might feel if, well, tests weren't stuck in some distant lab, with results taking days, sometimes even longer? Today, we're really plunging into a shift in healthcare that's fundamentally changing that whole picture. We're exploring point-of-care diagnostics, POC for short. And our mission really is to unpack how these rapid on-site tests are making healthcare faster, more accessible, and truly decentralized for you, wherever you might be.
It really is more than just a small shift. It's genuinely a revolution happening right now. And what's really striking is just how fast POC diagnostics is growing. I mean, it's one of the fastest growing bits of the global in vitro diagnostics, the IVD industry. The numbers are pretty impressive. Projections show the market soaring past 75 billion US dollars globally by 2030. That's with a compound annual growth rate, a TRGR of around 9 to 10%. That kind of growth. Well, it tells you something big is changing.
Wow, 75 billion. That's a huge figure. It really hints at how widespread these changes are becoming, doesn't it? So think of this as your sort of essential guide to understanding this whole transformation. We're going to peel back the layers on what POC diagnostics actually are, look at the amazing tech making it possible, and explore why it really matters for your health down the line.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What exactly are point-of-care diagnostics? Fundamentally, it seems like it's about bringing medical testing right to where you are when you need care. So instead of, the sample going off somewhere, the waiting, POC tests happen right there, like in the doctor's office, maybe a clinic, or even at the bedside.
Exactly. Right there. And that immediate turnaround, that's the absolute game changer. You typically get results within a minute, maybe up to an hour sometimes. And this rapid feedback lets healthcare providers make decisions right away, informed decisions. Think about situations where time is critical, an ER maybe, or a remote village where getting to a lab takes hours or even days. This speed, it drastically cuts down that waiting time for diagnosis. And crucially, it really improves patient outcomes because treatment can start so much faster. It basically collapses the whole diagnosis to treatment timeline.
That immediacy,
Mm-hmm.
it, it sounds incredibly beneficial, almost obvious when you think about it, but it does raise a key question. How do you make sure these super quick on-the-spot tests are reliable? I mean, accurate and effective, especially outside a controlled lab. This is where I understand a really clever framework comes in from the World Health Organization, the WHO, called the Assured criteria.
That's a really important point because speed alone isn't enough, right? Accuracy is key. The Assure criteria give us this fantastic blueprint for what makes a POC test truly effective, especially out in the real world in diverse settings. Should we break it down?
Yeah, let's do that. What does Assured stand for?
Okay. So first, A is for affordable. The test needs to be cost-effective for the place it's going to be used, so it can actually be adopted widely, even where resources are tight. And affordable isn't just about the test strip cost, it's the whole package deployment, maybe interpretation costs too.
Makes sense.
Then we have two S's. The first S is for sensitive. That means the test has to be really good at picking up the disease if it's actually there. Detecting true positives. Super important for catching things early.
Okay.
The second S is for specific. This is the flip side, accurately identifying true negatives, so it avoids false alarms, which can cause unnecessary worry and treatment.
Got it. Sensitive and specific. What's next?
U is for user-friendly. This one's huge for getting tests used widely. It should be easy enough to perform with minimal training, so not just lab techs, but maybe nurses or even community health workers could use it reliably.
Right, taking it out of the specialist's hands.
Exactly. Then R is for rapid and robust. We've talked about rapid results, but robust is just as critical. The test needs to hold up under different conditions, heat, cold, humidity, without messing up the results. Think of a test used in a field clinic versus an air-conditioned hospital.
Very different environments.
For sure. E stands for equipment-free, or, well, at least minimal equipment needed. This drastically lowers the barrier for places that don't have fancy lab gear or even a reliable power supply.
Okay, makes it much more practical.
And finally, D is for deliverable. This is all about access. Can the test actually get to the people who need it most, even in remote areas? It covers the whole supply chain journey.
Wow. Looking at all those together, Assured, it's really clear that a great POC test isn't just about clever science. It's about this whole system view, making sure it works in the real world to make healthcare fairer, more accessible. It's innovation meeting reality. Now, thinking about the tech, if your idea of POC is still just, say, a basic glucose meter or maybe a home pregnancy test, which were amazing for their time, of course things have moved on quite a bit, the technology landscape in 2025, it sounds incredibly advanced. What are some of the really cutting-edge categories we're seeing now?
Oh, the evolution's been stunning. We're seeing several key areas really pushing the envelope. First up, there are molecular POC platforms. These are designed to give you that lab-level sensitivity, think PCR accuracy, but in portable formats. We're talking miniaturized PCR. Yes, the same tech that became famous during the pandemic, but now small enough to be carried easily.
PCR in a backpack, almost.
Pretty much. And also isothermal amplification methods like LAMP or RPA. The key thing there is they work at a constant temperature, unlike traditional PCR. That means no need for those bulky, power-hungry machines that cycle temperatures up and down. Ideal for portable, off-grid use. And we're even seeing CRISPR-based systems being adapted for really fast, specific detection.
CRISPR, wow.
Yeah, a great example is Cepheid's GenExpert Omni. It's a portable PCR system. It's used for things like TB and SARS-CoV-2 right there at the point of care. And it's got serious regulatory backing, FDA clearance, CE marking, WHO pre-qualification. That shows how reliable these systems have become.
Okay, so that's molecular. What else?
Next big category, immunoassay-based POC tests. These use those classic antigen-antibody reactions. They're great for detecting infections. Think HIV, malaria, dengue, but also key biomarkers like troponin for spotting a heart attack quickly. And within this, lateral flow assays, LFAs, are still dominant. They're just so easy to use and cheap to make, like many of those rapid COVID tests we all use.
Ah, right, the LFA strips.
Exactly. Then we're seeing huge strides in biosensor and lab-on-a-chip devices. These are really sophisticated. They integrate things like microfluidics, manipulating tiny bits of fluid nanotechnology, and electrochemical detection. This lets them analyze really small samples very quickly and sensitively. And what's super exciting is how they're increasingly being paired with smartphones.
Smartphones, how does that work?
Well, the phone's camera or other sensors can act as a reader. It captures the result, maybe interprets it, and can even send it off securely. Big potential for telemedicine, getting expert eyes on results from anywhere.
That's clever. Okay, any other major categories?
One more really emerging area is liquid biopsy POC systems. This is cutting-edge stuff. The idea is to detect things like circulating tumor DNA, ctDNA, or other cancer markers from a simple blood draw right there in the community clinic.
Protect cancer markers at the local clinic.
Potentially, yes. Imagine how that could change cancer monitoring, making it easier, more frequent, maybe catching recurrence much earlier. It's still developing, but incredibly promising.
That's a really powerful set of technologies. Molecular immunoassays, lab on a chip, even liquid biopsy.
Right.
So we understand the tech is advancing rapidly, but for you, the listener, the patient, where are these actually making a tangible difference? What are the practical uses having the biggest impact right now?
Oh, the clinical impact is already huge, and it spans so many areas. Take infectious disease management. Rapid tests for malaria, HIV, flu, COVID. They're lifesavers in primary care, especially during outbreaks. You identify cases fast, you can isolate, start the right treatment quickly. That helps stop the spread, which is vital everywhere, but especially in crowded or remote places.
Makes sense. Containing outbreaks faster.
Absolutely. Then there's chronic disease monitoring. Think diabetes with portable HbA1c analyzers, or cardiovascular disease using lipid profile devices. These allow regular checkups right there in the local clinic, whether it's urban or rural. Better monitoring helps people manage their conditions day to day, potentially avoiding serious problems later on.
So empowering patients more directly.
Exactly. And in emergency and critical care, POC is just revolutionizing things. Bedside tests for troponin for heart attacks, D-dimer for clots, lactate for sepsis. ER doctors can get results in minutes. This means faster, more accurate triage in life or death situations. It guides those immediate critical decisions.
Wow, okay, that's a clear benefit.
And one more really important area, maternal and neonatal health. Rapid POC tests for things like syphilis, group B strep, preeclampsia. These are dramatically improving antenatal screening, especially in underserved regions. Catching these conditions early can prevent really serious outcomes for both mother and baby. It's a powerful tool for health equity.
It's really clear how versatile and impactful these tools are. But, for them to get into the hands of doctors and patients safely, especially across different countries and for such varied uses, they must need to get through some pretty complex regulations, right?
Yeah.
To ensure they're safe and actually work.
That's absolutely critical. Innovation is great, but it has to be safe and effective. The regulatory side is definitely complex and varies quite a bit. In the U.S., for instance, the FDA oversees these under specific regulations, 21 CFR Part 809. But a key thing for POC is the CLIA waiver.
CLIA waiver, what's that?
It's granted to tests that are simple enough and have a low risk of giving wrong results. Getting that waiver is vital because it means the test can be used outside a traditional lab, in clinics, doctors' offices, pharmacies. It massively expands where the test can be used.
Okay, so that waiver is a big deal for accessibility in the U.S. What about Europe?
In the European Union, things are governed by the IBDR, the In Vitro Diagnostic Medical Devices Regulation. It's quite a strict framework. Devices need to get a CE mark to be sold. That involves a thorough assessment, often by an independent notified body, to prove they meet high safety and performance standards.
Right, the CE mark.
Yeah.
And elsewhere, say, India.
In India, regulation falls under the Medical Devices Rules 2017, managed by the CDSCO, the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization. Certain POC tests need specific manufacturing or import licenses. Plus, manufacturers generally need to comply with quality standards like ISO 13485. And often, especially for tests used in public health programs, WHO pre-qualification is needed too. It ensures a certain level of quality and reliability globally.
It sounds like a real maze for manufacturers, but obviously necessary for building trust and ensuring patient safety. So with all this incredible innovation and the regulatory paths getting clearer, what's actually fueling this massive growth, this booming market for POC diagnostics that you mentioned earlier? It feels like a perfect storm.
It really is fueled by several strong currents coming together. First, sadly, is the rising prevalence of both infectious diseases and chronic conditions globally. More people needing diagnosis and monitoring drives demand.
Right. The underlying need is growing.
Second, there's a huge push for decentralized testing. Getting healthcare out of just big hospitals and into communities, especially rural areas, POC fits that perfectly.
Bringing care closer to home.
Exactly. Third, as we discussed, the technology itself is just getting better, faster, smaller, more connected, and easier to use. The tools are becoming more powerful. And finally, particularly in emerging economies, there's simply more investment in healthcare overall. Governments and individuals are spending more, and they're adopting efficient technologies like POC.
And does that look different in different parts of the world?
It does. Looking towards 2025, North America still holds the largest market share, thanks to its advanced infrastructure and reimbursement systems. But the Asia-Pacific region is where the fastest growth is expected. That's driven by major efforts to expand rural healthcare and big government screening programs like India's Ayushman Bharat scheme.
Interesting.
And in Africa, you already see very high adoption, especially for HIV and malaria rapid tests, often supported by global health organizations. It shows the immediate value in places with high disease burdens.
Okay, so the potential is enormous. The growth is rapid. But surely it's not all smooth sailing. What are the bumps in the road? The challenges that still need tackling for POC diagnostics? And looking beyond that, what's next on the horizon?
That's a fair question. There are definitely hurdles. Quality assurance is a big one. Making sure these tests are consistently accurate in all sorts of conditions. Heat, dust, humidity outside a controlled lab environment is a constant challenge.
Maintaining reliability everywhere.
Precisely. Then there's supply chain resilience. We saw during the pandemic how easily supply chains can be disrupted. Ensuring enough tests are available, especially when demand spikes, is crucial.
Yeah, we all remember test shortages.
Exactly. Regulatory harmonization is another ongoing effort. Trying to streamline the different approval processes across countries could help get innovations to patients faster without compromising safety, of course. And finally, integration with digital health. Getting the results from a POC test smoothly and securely into a patient's electronic health record, making sure systems can talk to each other. That's still a work in progress, but vital for connected care.
So, quality, supply, regulations, data integration, plenty to work on. But what about the future? What exciting things are coming?
The future looks incredibly dynamic. We're likely to see more AI-enhanced interpretation. Imagine AI helping analyze results, maybe reducing errors, potentially even offering diagnostic suggestions.
AI reading the tests.
Something like that, or assisting the user. Also, wearable POC sensors are a really exciting area. Think continuous monitoring of certain biomarkers through a patch or wristband, giving you real-time health data.
Wow, continuous data.
And another big trend is multiplex panels. These are tests designed to detect multiple diseases or markers from just one single sample. More information from one test, much more efficient.
That sounds incredibly powerful. Well, this deep dive has really shown that point-of-care diagnostics aren't just a sideshow anymore, are they? They're becoming absolutely central to how healthcare is delivered all over the world. That ability to shrink the time between spotting a problem and starting treatment, especially in places that have been underserved, it feels truly transformative.
Absolutely. It's really positioning itself as a cornerstone of future healthcare. The technology keeps accelerating, and the regulatory side, while complex, is adapting. It really points towards healthcare becoming more immediate, more accessible, and more integrated for everyone.
So here's a thought to leave you with. As PSC testing becomes more embedded in everyday health, in managing chronic conditions, in public health, what does that really mean for your ability to be more involved in your own health? And what is a signal for the future of genuinely personalized medicine? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive today.